The current world population is 7.3 billion, which is expected to reach 8.8 billion by 2030 and 9.7 billion in 2050. And feeding it will be a huge challenge. To feed the world by 2050, food production will have to increase from 2.1 billion tons to 3 billion, and meat production will need to double to 470 million tons. Due to industrial development and urbanization, we are losing arable land, meaning land that is capable of growing crops. In 2015, scientists reported that the Earth had lost 33% of arable land over the previous 40 years, and we don't know how much more we are going to lose in the next 40 years. By cutting down the forest and turning more land over to agriculture production is always a possible option. The UK, for example, already uses 72% of its landmass for agriculture production, and the country still imports nearly half of the food it consumes. Till date, we have already cleared an area that is roughly the size of South America to grow the necessary amount of crops that we consume across the world. And to raise livestock, we have used roughly the entire continent of Africa. In situations like this, we need food systems that could feed a large number of people without stressing out our existing resources. And vertical farming sounds like the right answer. But to know about vertical farming, first we must know what vertical farming is. Vertical farming is the practice of producing food on vertically inclined surfaces instead of farming vegetables and other foods on single level, such as in field or in greenhouse. This method produces food in vertically stacked layers commonly integrated into other structures like skyscraper, shipping container, or repurposed warehouse. Farmers that use this method can grow an exponentially higher amount of food with the same amount of land because of improved space utilization. Vertical farming can be more difficult to implement since it requires more control for temperature, humidity, and light. To be successful, it takes even more determination, discipline, and hard work for farmers. There are different types of vertical farming systems that farmers can integrate to provide the nutrients to plant to get the best harvest. Different types of vertical farming system are hydroponics, aquaponics, aeroponics. Hydroponics. This technique for vertical farming system suggests growing plants without the need for soil. Hydroponic systems submerge plant root into liquid solution with different nutrients. Instead of using soil, materials such as gravel and sand are used as substitutes for supporting plants' roots. This allows micronutrients or the nutrients required in the large amounts to be taken and focused by plants. Advantages of hydroponics farming include increased amount of crops in an area and decreased amount of water used for plants overall. Aquaponics. Aquaponics combines aquaculture and hydroponics. Aquaculture refers to fish farming. Aquaponics takes hydroponics to the next level by integrating earthly plant production while using aquatic organisms to help their growth in a system that sustains itself without outside organisms. Combining natural aquatic organisms without use of soil helps the plant focus on the intake natural materials and nutrients. But this method isn't used as often as other methods of vertical farming. Aeroponics. This system was utilized by NASA to find an efficient way of producing crops in unconventional circumstances. NASA mainly sought out this technique to see how easy it was to grow plants in space in 1990s. Aeroponics is unique because it uses no soil or aquatic organisms to grow. In this system, water is spread directly onto the roots of the plants. This greatly reduces the amount of water and energy needed for growing plants. Commercially, aeroponics farms use water and energy by 90 to 95% less than traditional farming. However, it also requires more extensive farm infrastructure and control technology compared to hydroponics. Some of the vertical farming company like Plenty has constructed climate control vertical farms that are so promising they have drawn $400 million in funding from Google, Amazon and SoftBank. These upright farms take up only 2 acres yet produce 720 acres worth of fruit and vegetables. AI control robots control lighting, temperature and watering. LED panels emulate sunlight so food is grown in optimal condition 24/7 and water is recycled and evaporated water is recaptured so there is virtually no waste. The operation is so efficient it uses 99% less land and 95% less water than normal farming operations. And this row of hanging plants produce 400 times more food per acre than a traditional farm. As the world trends towards being more efficient, people are adopting new ways to speed up their trades, quality and speed. Farming has started to turn away from the typical horizontal farming and creating more crops with less space with vertical farming. Some methods are proven and some are still being worked on. However, the more techniques are discovered, the more efficient farming will become. In turn, this will help utilize space, save resources, grow successful crops, and ultimately increase efficiency all around.